In this video I will show you an amazing trick. Amaze your friends and family. Surprise yourself. So here we go then. Winner of the best ever show and tell, it's... Checkmate with 2 bishops. But first let's go over some basics. When your opponent has got just their king left, you need to make a barrier. In this case, one rook makes a barrier, and the other rook gives check, forcing the black king nearer the edge of the board. The rook that gave check is now the barrier, and on we go, until we end up with checkmate. A queen can make barriers to force the enemy king into the corner. Eventually the black king will end up in the corner, and then you can bring your king closer before giving checkmate. It's harder with just a rook, but you still need to make barriers. Your king makes the barrier, blocking all 3 squares, so your rook can give check and force the enemy king towards the edge. And we keep doing this, and eventually it's checkmate. Can a bishop make a barrier? No, because the king can escape by moving diagonally on the opposite colour square. But if we add a second bishop on the opposite colour, we can make a barrier, and the king can't get past. But if we give check to try to force the king towards the corner, the king can escape. So it's harder with 2 bishops than with 2 rooks. We're going to have to use the king. So let me show you a way that's easy to remember. It's not the quickest way, but it's easy to remember. The first thing to do is to get your bishop safely onto 2 of the 4 centre squares. This will make your plan much easier to get right. Black can try to stop the bishops, but eventually, if you attack the centre squares along the long diagonals, black will have to move the king away. And we'll be able to move the bishops into the centre. These bishops make 2 barriers, which restrict the enemy king. If the enemy king is off to the side, then get your bishops facing the right way, so that the barriers are like this. But with the king here, this is how we want the barriers. Great, stage 1 is complete. Now we need to move the king next to the bishops. Great, stage 2 is complete. Now we need to force the king towards the edge by slowly and safely advancing the king and bishops, 1 square at a time. In this position, the king can advance. And depending on where the black king retreats, white's bishop can advance. And then the other bishop can catch up. As you can see, we are 1 step closer. This time the king can't advance, so the bishop goes first. Then the king, and finally the other bishop. And we should be left in a position like this, with your king no more than 2 squares from the edge of the board. If you end up too far away, then while the enemy king goes backwards and forwards, move your king round to the short side and use the other corner. Brilliant! Stage 3 is complete. Now we need to force the enemy king towards the corner closest to your king. We want to get the bishop here, but it's not safe at the moment, so we have to waste a move. Now the other bishop. We can't allow the king to sneak away. And now it doesn't matter which way black moves, white's moves are the same. We're well inside the 50 move limit. Let's just look at how to finish the game if your king ends up only one square away, or even on the edge of the board. This is what to do if your king ends up one square from the edge. Remember to waste a move if you have to. Don't block the king in the corner. That would be stalemate. And this is what to do if your king ends up on the edge. Remember to watch out for stalemate. This bishop move would give stalemate. Right, that's got show and tell sorted. Remember, first move your bishops onto centre squares, then move your king next to them, then force the enemy king to the edge, and finally force the enemy king to the corner closest to your king before giving checkmate.